Alright, 6th grade. Okay, so now today we are going to do our notes for coordinate graphing. So integers in the coordinate plane. And then we are going to talk about the distance on the coordinate plane. So here we go, coordinate plane notes, which once again we don't need that notes thing. Miss Lewis just keeps trying to add that in there. So today is the 6th. Okay, so we're going to talk about the coordinate plane. And then page 17 is going to be the distance on a coordinate plane. Okay. So let's turn to the next available right and left side page thinking. So right past comparing and ordering rational numbers, we also took our absolute value notes yesterday in class here, and we're going to be utilizing absolute value quite a bit, okay, and just positive and negative integers, rational numbers. So what did I say? So we're on page 16. 10, 6, 20, 20. Coordinate plane. Okay, so we're talking about the coordinate plane. Our objective. I can locate points on a coordinate graph determine their quadrant and can plot points on a coordinate graph by extending my knowledge of integers. Okay. So, yesterday you guys were handed this, and it was 2 pages, and I went ahead and cut mine out. And so this was 1 page, and I just cut out the outline and I made it into flaps. We're not going to paste it down until we're completely done writing in it. The other page had this on it, and then it also had these. It also had some other stuff, but we're not going to need that other stuff. This is all we're going to need. So go ahead and pause the video, get it cut out, and let's get ready to rock and roll, okay? Okay, so you're back. So first things first, we're going to make sure that our flaps cover each of the quadrants here, because that's going to help us. So we want to make sure and center this. So I've got this pretty well centered. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of draw a little outline here as to where it should go. That way when I'm working with it, I know where I'm supposed to go. So notice this is a coordinate grid, okay? It has 4 quadrants. So notice this quadrant, which is what we call quadrant 1, okay, is both of them are positive. So it's positive, positive. And you know what? Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me. So we're not even gonna use these. You can do away with those. So just know that quadrant 1 is going to be a positive excuse me, positive, positive, quadrant. Okay? So positive, positive quadrant. Because this here, right here, this feller here is what we call my x axis. Okay, it runs horizontal. This up here, the one that runs vertical, is what I call my y axis. This here is my origin. Okay, it's where everything starts. This here, so we always have x before y, okay, and this is what you call an ordered pair. Okay, ordered pair. So let's look at, this is quadrant 1 right here. Okay, let's look at quadrant 2. This is quadrant 2. What do I notice about the x-axis? All the numbers and values they're negative. So this one is going to be a negative. And then what do we know about the y-axis? All those values are positive. So it's going to be a negative x-axis and a positive y-axis. So now let's look here. The x-axis, we always go x first. Okay, they are negative. What about the y-axis? Negative. So notice they're catty corner from positive, positive. So this one here, x-axis is positive, y-axis is negative. Okay? So now, if I wanted to plot the ordered pair, let's see. Let's plot, let's say, we're gonna write it right down here in our notes. Okay, if I have -4, we're gonna say -4 and 5. Okay, so -4, that's a +5. Remember, this is the x, and this is the y. So I come back down here. I always start at the origin, okay, which is the beginning point. So I'm going to go -4 on the x-axis, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then +5 on the y-axis. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that point, that ordered pair, is going to be located here. Remember, it was -4, +5, and that's where it is. We're going to call that point A. And so notice it's a negative x and a positive y. So we're going to call that point A. Okay? So let's look at another example. What if I said example 2? Say 2, -2. Okay, so +2, -2. +2 is on the x, -2 on the y. So what quadrant is that going to be in? I've got a positive, negative. What quadrant is that going to be in? 1, 2, 3, or 4? Well, let's look up here. I'm looking for a positive, negative. I have positive, positive in 1, negative, positive in 2, negative, negative in 3, positive, negative in 4. I'm looking for a positive, negative, so it's going to be in quadrant 4. So it's going to be somewhere in here. So I said +2, so I start at my origin. So +2 is on the x-axis, 1, 2, so I go over, and then I go up or down. I go down because it's negative, 1, 2. So this, we're going to call this point B, and it is located at +2, -2, and it is point B. Okay? So what if I had, example number 3, what if I had 0, 4? Now remember, 0 is neither positive nor negative. And we're going to call this point C. So let's go back up here. So, how many spaces do I go on the x-axis? 0. How many do I go on the y? 4. So 0. So that means I stay right here on the x-axis. And then I go up 4 because it's a +4. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4. So that value lies right along the y-axis, and we're calling it point C. Okay, here's another one for you. Let's go example number 4. What if I had -4.5 and 0? Remember, this is x and this is y. So I always start at the origin. So here I am at the origin, -4.5. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4. Where does the half fall? Does it fall between 4 and 3, or does it fall between 4 and 5? It's between 4 and 5, and then 0 on the y-axis. So I come and I put my point right there because I'm not going up or down any, I'm going 0. So I go over and then nothing. And so this is -4.5, 0, and we're going to call it point D. Okay? So that is kind of the gist of our coordinate plane and graphing points on our coordinate plane. So what I want you to do is I want you to take our little coordinate graph here with our 4 quadrants, and I want you to go dot, dot, not a lot, boop, 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 and it really doesn't take a lot. Paste it in here nice and neat. That way everything lines up nice and pretty. And then I'm going to close these flaps. I'm going to turn this feller over. And then, of course, it's not going to fit, but that's okay. We'll put it over here where we get the gist of it. Okay, and so I paste that in, and now I have a nice resource, okay, for helping me with coordinate plane. Now, we have done some work with the coordinate plane, but this just gives us a little bit more information in case Ms. Lewis asks you. So now, let's turn, because we're only 13 minutes into our video, let's turn to our next page. Let's go ahead and do our distance on the coordinate plane. Okay. Distance on the coordinate plane. Can't even remember. That's page 17. So we're going to write distance so our objective. I can determine distance on a coordinate plane by extending and applying, whoa, can't spell, applying my knowledge of absolute value and ordered pairs. Okay? So what we're going to do with this is we've started our note page. We're actually going to finish it in class. Okay, so we're going to finish this one in class. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Make sure that you get your stuff done, and I will see you tomorrow in class.